Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode here, Banished It Out. So, what I want to talk about this evening is our false self and our higher self. But really, to understand this fully, there is no self, there is only consciousness. You see, what you're thinking right now, watching me, is nothing more than, and what you're perceiving, that's a better way of putting it, is nothing more than your subconscious programming, analyzing what it is you're hearing from my voice coming out of me. The spirit inside of me is talking. This body you see is just a virtual reality. It is this. It's a virtual reality body, uniform, whatever, however we want to say it. Because you and I are nothing more than just consciousness. 95% of who you are and who I am is nothing more than the subconscious programming that our caregivers downloaded, that we downloaded inside of us from when we were infants, even before, when we were in our womb, our mom's womb. Okay, we're just a fetus. So, that being said, I want to sort of start off with that. I want to transition now to what these quotes I found from Neville. Learning to trust our invisible hands. We're going to find through watching this video, you're going to find that the invisible hands are not what you think they are. And that who are best or greatest teachers are, again, not who you thought they would be. So let me continue. Our greatest asset, which is our energy, is not wasted in effort. It is, however, wasted in distraction. These things: social media, gossip, worrying about what other people think of us, worrying about what other people say, worrying about being accepted by anything external to us. That is a distraction. Anything that takes you away from what it is, what you actually want, who you want to be, what you desire to have in your life. Anything that takes you away from that is a distraction. Anything that takes you away from that is nothing more than the subconscious programming that has been downloaded into you from your birth. When we allow our thoughts to be consumed by the actions, opinions, and circumstances of others, we divert this very power that we have inside of ourselves that could transform our lives. Now, let me just pause here for a second and let me ask you and pose a question to you. What you do while you're living, otherwise known as a job. If you're watching this and you have a job, let me pose this to you. Is this job that you have a job that you otherwise would not have if finances were not an issue for you? If making your mortgage or rent payment were taken care of for the rest of your life, automobiles, you buy them cash, would you go to your job tomorrow if that were your reality right now? And if you're watching this and that answer is no, then it's not who you truly are. It's not, that's the very power that I'm talking about. You see, this power that I'm talking about is underneath layers and layers and layers of programming that we received from our caregivers and from society growing up. Because you and I were presented this universe, this society, this world by our caregivers, specifically by our mother. through her energetic reaction to perception to her outside world. And if that energy that was transferred to you through the umbilical cord was anything less than harmonious, safe, peaceful, um, happy, grateful, anything like that, anything that's very healthy, the relationship with your father, if there was one, meaning if he was even around, or if that relationship was a healthy relationship, was a productive relationship, was a harmonious relationship, was a respectful, your grandparents, again, your mom's parents, your father's parents. What was society like? What was your nationality? What was the feelings there? You see, many of us, myself, we were bigots before we were even able to talk because of the perceptions of those caregivers. If they saw any people different from them, if there was separation, if they looked down upon a certain race of people, a certain ethnic background of people, I can clearly think of one right now, which was Polak. For anybody who's Polish, just by the mere fact that you are from Poland, your family ancestry, you were somehow less than, you were considered stupid. You see what I'm saying? So this foundation, this operating system was downloaded into you at this when you were just the fetus you were just we weren't even here in the earth in the world yet. So this is what I'm talking about, the layering of conditions that now cover over this power that you have inside of you that you weren't even aware of. If you were bullied in school, see all of these things. And this is the ego, worrying about what other people think, being identifying with what you wear, how your hair looks, car you drive, the house you live in, the neighborhood you live in, the type of job you have. Do you have letters next to your name? If you identify with any of these as who you, that makes you who you are, that is the false self, that is the ego. This is what you must rid yourself of to tap into that power that I'm talking about. A great book to read to learn more about this is Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins, where he talks about this true power versus illusionary power. The true power of being able to be comfortable in your own skin, who you are, not having any connection to the external world in as much as anything that goes on outside has any bearing on or any influence over how you feel about yourself at any moment. This is what I'm talking about. The power that I'm talking about is in the invisible hands, that invisible safety net that you have. Uh, the book, uh, A Course in Miracles, talks about this when it says, "If you knew who walked beside you at all times on this path that you have chosen, if you truly knew that and trusted in that, you could never fear or doubt again." But my friends, we've been led, we've been conditioned, we've been in a trance to believe that it's what others feel, what others think of us. If they accept us, if we get the applause, if we get the attaboys, the taps on the back, good girl, then we're proud, we get a certain lift. When we can get to a point where we can rise above or not require even the good opinion of others, we are truly starting to tap into that power. This is the power that I'm talking about. This is that place, that elevated place, not elevated in the sense that anybody or anything is beneath us, but elevated to the point where we're able to observe our awareness, okay, our virtual reality, what we see is nothing but love and appreciation and gratitude for everything. Now, a simple example of this is if you're watching this video and maybe finances are an issue that you're having, and you've been praying, you've been speaking affirmations, it's something along the lines of, which I have done, money comes to me easily and effortlessly. This has been happening to me. And the other day I was walking, I happened to be in a parking lot, and I looked down and the sun was hitting something shiny in the gravel. And as I looked down and got closer to this shiny object, I started recognizing, I think this is a dime. And I picked it up and it was all beaten up, but sure enough, it was a dime. And I grabbed it, I held it in my hand, and I was so grateful in that moment. I said, thank you. This is a symbol of money coming to me effortlessly. If a circumstance were to happen to anybody else or yourself perhaps, and we pick it up, and the older me would have picked it up, put it in my pocket, and just kept on walking. But to the universe says, you're asking for this, and we're providing it for you. An example of this, when you can appreciate the dime or the nickel or the penny or the quarter, then that turns into maybe a dollar, 20, 50, 100. Suddenly money shows up in your mailbox. And one of your affirmations could be something along the lines of, I receive money now from known and unknown sources. Money comes to me from known and unknown sources. You see, when we speak these affirmations and we can start to believe them, we can start to embody that, it is when the outside world it must conform. You are able to, through this power that I talk about, like the movie The Matrix, we are able to bend this universe around us like the Matrix, because that's what it is. We are living in a matrix. There's a quote I want to share with you that illustrates this, and it goes back to the first century. It is from the Buddha Sutras, Heart Sutra. And it simply says the reality of your world, your body, your physical world, and situations in life, the reality only exists where we create a focus. This is from the first century Buddhist, the Heart Sutra. This, we're talking how many years ago, right? But my question then is, if if that has been around since the first century, why is it not in required reading? Why hasn't it been? Why am I only hearing about this now? Why haven't why hasn't this been part of my curriculum in school? You see, this is what I'm talking about. You are responsible for how you feel from this video on. If what I'm saying is resonating with you, then you have a responsibility from this point forward to start to incorporate this into your life. Understand your reality is wherever you place your focus. That is your reality in that moment. who comes into your life, the events that take place in your life, the circumstances that take place in your life, the people that are in your life, you have put them there. You put all that there by your inner conversations. So then, if we want to change this, then we have to change internally before anything externally changes. Nothing external to us ever changes without it first changing internally inside of ourselves first. So the biggest obstacle standing between you and the life you desire is not some external force, but rather the attention you give to the world outside of yourself. That is the biggest obstacle. It is not the life you desire, is not some external force, but rather the attention we are giving to the external, anything outside of us. That is our biggest obstacle. The attention we give to anything external to ourselves. Now, I remember hearing about this sculptor. I forget what video it was, but this young girl was a gifted sculptor, and she was given this. She had this chunk of clay, and she said, "I did not create this beauty. This beautiful sculpting that she did. I merely removed that which concealed it." See, you have a Michelangelo, you have a David inside of you. That power that I just talked about a few minutes ago, what Michelangelo said, David was already inside. I just, like the sculptor talked about, I just carved away some of the excess. And this excess that I am talking about here tonight, again, is that conditioned behavior. 95% of who you and I are by the time we were 30, for myself, was 35, or you will be 35, or maybe you are 35 now, is a memorized set, just like tying your shoelaces and driving your car, just like walking, is a memorized set of emotional reactions, behaviors, attitudes, and thoughts. Memorized set. If you were to ask, if you have the opportunity to ask your subconscious mind, hey, when did I start to walk? When did I start to learn how to walk? Your subconscious mind would say, today. Even though you've been doing it for 40 years, 60 years, 70 years, 10, 30 years, 25 years, whatever it may be, whatever your age is watching this. Because your subconscious mind doesn't know 30 years ago, doesn't know 20 hours ago. Whatever it is that you're thinking, your subconscious mind, the field that you send this thought out to, says, okay, if that's how you're thinking, this is how you're talking, we're just going to give you more of that. So this is why you want to be so extremely vigilant about what comes out of your mouth. You see, because it goes into our head and it comes out of this body, this virtual reality suit that we have. And then the field says, okay, we're going to give you more of that. So if you say things such as, oh, these things always happen to me, okay, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get more of that. If you change that now, your awareness is money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I never have to work. I create money on demand. Okay? I am perfect health. My weight is always at the perfect weight for my height and size, or whatever it may be. My blood pressure is the perfect level always. When we say these things, there is an actual chemical reaction within this suit, within this body. Our brains and our heart start to change chemically just by the words that we use. We can't see it. See, the issue is we want to say it and then in a snap of a finger see it appear outside in our outside external world. But it's not that. When we say it, whatever it may be, good or bad, our bodies change. in an instant. And then the external world reveals that back to us. So this is why I'm saying you want to be very vigilant about what you're saying. And as we say these things, as starts to become our new programmed behavior and thinking process, as these affirmations, this is the way we talk to ourselves, starts to become fluid, where we just automatically say it, our world has to change. It is law. Okay? So what you say to yourself, you say to your external world, and then those people in the external world hear that and change. Because think of this. Think of this quote. Others echo what we say to them in silence. So how you think of another person, that person is going to react to or echo back to you how you talk to them when they're not around. This is why we say things such as, I can't, oh, it just drives me crazy whenever he or she does fill in the blank. You're teaching them to do that by the way you're talking about them in that moment when they're not there. You're actually, think about this. You're telling them in that moment, keep giving me more of that. Keep bringing more of that to me. I want more of that. And this is where I want to transition, ladies and gentlemen, because that person, he or she, whoever they may be, could be your spouse, could be your boss, could be a coworker. They are your greatest teachers because what they are showing you in that moment is this is how you need to change. This is what you need to change. This is the language. This is how you're talking to yourself. This is how you want you're gonna if you want X and you keep speaking Y, then there's no way you're gonna get X. They are there to show you, hey, I'm gonna hold up a mirror and look at this mirror. They're telling you in that moment, you keep saying you don't like this reflection. Well, I'm holding up the mirror and I keep showing you the reflection by my actions. But now is the time for you to say, got it. Thank you. Send them love because they are teaching you exactly what you need to do to change the behavior that needs to change. So, in a paradoxical way, we can then say that they are our invisible hands. The invisible part is because we couldn't see it until this point. The hands are them holding you, saying, here, let me help you get to where you want to go. See what I'm saying? So these are our invisible hands. The people who trigger us the most are our greatest teachers. So let me continue. So, like I said, your invisible hands are your biggest tormentors. So then, as we begin to change, then the outer world must conform to this change. It must conform to this conviction. But it's in these moments when we need to trust in that what we're saying, in that how we see ourselves. If we can see it, if you have this desire, it's because inside of you, that power is revealing itself to you. It's saying, yes, this is who you truly are. This is that brain and heart connection. Whenever we feel this, whatever it is you're doing, okay, whatever environment you're in, whatever it may be, when you're in that environment, when you're thinking that way, be it meditation or whatever, it's in those moments that the universe is saying to you, this is who you truly are. This is where you should be. Stay with this. You may not see it all at once. It may be a dime on the parking lot, in the parking lot, as money coming to you. It could be a blood pressure reading that seems to be a little bit lower than it has normally been. It could be finding a parking spot. You drive up one day in the middle of a crowded parking lot, and there's a spot right towards the front of the restaurant or wherever it may be. Recognize those and be grateful for that. Don't pass it up, meaning don't just let it go. Recognize these signs are exactly that. They are signs. If you start seeing, I know it's for myself in my life, repeated numbers, and I would look it up on Google, and I would think, okay, that's what that means. Good. So this universe, this higher force, this field is talking back to me. It's responding. It's saying to me in that moment, hey, we hear you. We got you. We are like A Course in Miracles says, if you knew who walked beside you at every moment on this path that you have chosen, you can never fear it down again. So when these things start to take place, when that starts to happen, understand that's that invisible hand, right? Just like uh, the little message, footprints, right? What did it say about footprints? Two sets of footprints in the sand, but then there was only one. And was it the Lord, right? God or universal force, whatever it may be, saying that's when I was carrying you, when there was only one set of footprints. This is what I'm talking about. These are the invisible hands that carry us past the hurts and all that. But remember, nothing inside in this world is there by accident. We create it all. You create it all. How we talk to ourselves, what we think. So the 5% of our mind, the creative faculty within our mind that has those desires and the wishes, as it gets through the analytical mind, the ego, we are now recognizing that this analytical mind is nothing more than the ego. We want to let that go. We want to recognize it, understand it. It's the false self. Allow it to happen, and then let it go, and allow that desire to come down and attach to our heart, have that connection, that link, nice and clean. You've heard me talk about in previous videos, the link to source energy. Well, this is what I'm talking about here. The heart and the mind, that linkage. When we allow that to stay there as long as we can, or from however many times during the day we can, the stronger that connection gets, we're going to be like the Wright brothers from, well, it was only 14 seconds in the air, right? The very first airplane that went in the air, I think it was 14 seconds, to 14 hours. Hold to that vision. Stay to that vision. Always remember, those are your biggest tormentor in your life has been the hands that have held you, that are guiding you. These invisible hands are what's guiding you over what Neville called the bridge of incidents. Whatever's going around in your world, we're going to start to recognize it and understand that, okay, I'm the one who put it there. But my changing consciousness is now going to create almost like a canvas, the sculptor, okay? We're chipping away the excess. This is how we do it. If you would like help doing this, if you need help in any of these areas, I'm offering one-on-one coaching. Go to my channel, click on the link. I'll be honored to work with you. If you would feel so inclined, please share this video with others, because the more people that see these types of videos from myself and others who are making these on YouTube, the healthier we're going to create. We're going to help this planet and the citizens here in this world and this planet. The healthier we are going to make each individual, the ones who want to be helped. And collectively, we're going to create a healthy universe. Thank you so much.